Hello everybody, so here I am, Tezera Mogess, Walter Stewart Library. I've decided to create another video for you, Great Outdoors, and this has to do with our upcoming networking event. This coming Monday, we have our next networking event at Wellesley Community Center. Miss it, you miss it, and no hard feelings, but I really think it's an opportunity. Every event is a networking event that is a new opportunity. Not to say that everything is going to be perfect when you leave the networking event, but we are learning as we go. And so come see whether anything I have to say is useful. Come see whether, you can share something, I can share something, and we both learn together actually. But this whole thing about being in isolation and learning everything from AI or from a computer, I don't think that's sustainable. And this is for the greater good, really. That's what is motivating me to do this. One thing I've learned is that, like in a job, yes, there's the money part, not making enough money. But if you really want to have impact, you need to have your own organization where you can use your creativity skills, you can collaboration skills with different vendors. Nobody can achieve success on their own. Okay, nobody. No matter if you're in the food and beverage industry, no matter if you're in the fashion industry, like think of it, fashion. Are you going to have, you need the raw materials, you need cotton, you need polyester, you need all these different materials that come from other countries because that's where the low cost efficiencies are. Not only labor, but labor is the biggest one, of course. When you buy a product, you're paying for someone's labor, someone's creativity, someone's research and development. And of course, you're also paying for the distribution costs, transportation costs. So anyways, trying to keep this short, trying to keep this about our next networking event, Monday, October 27th. I like Mondays. That's what works for my schedule. Monday evenings, of course. And we're going to have 2 hours this time. So we're going to have 7:30 to 9:30. We'll be in the room until 9:30 p.m. So you're open to come anytime. But of course, if you come at 7:30, you'll have the best experience. So Wellesley Community Center, room B, I believe 495 Sherbourne Street. You can use your Google and you can find it so easily. I'm sure most of the people watching this are familiar with downtown Toronto. So yes, back to the purpose, because that's my most common question. The purpose of this is to create an environment where we can collaborate, inform, and uplift our souls, really, I hate to say this, but uplift our spirits. You are nothing without your spirit. Absolutely nothing. No matter, Canadian firms are struggling right now. Absolutely struggling. Absolutely struggling. And one of them happens to be here. You can probably see a box behind me. One of them is Canada Post. Canada Post, the workers, the union, just announced a strike. So don't expect any mail from Canada Post in the near future. But these are organizations that have operated for decades, absolutely decades, and have made tons of money, millions of dollars. They had so much money, they had no idea what to do with it. And now, in the case of Canada Post, by the way, Canada Post doesn't receive any government money. It's a crown corporation, but they make money off of things that are shipped. So parcels, packages that are shipped, and mail. There was actually a time where there were more mail deliveries than there were parcels. But Canada, one thing I want to say, Canada should be the best, greatest country in the world, greatest economy, greatest quality of life. I'm sure you feel it the same way I feel it. Things are not great right now. Canada Post is just one example of firms there have been many firms that have become obsolete. Many firms that have been successful in the past. Usually you expect as a country, when the population increases, you would be doing more business and these Canadian firms would be doing better. Unfortunately, since nobody wants to pay for anything, nobody wants to pay 10 cents for everything. People are expecting everything to come from the government. And I always say, waiting for the government to contact you you might be waiting your whole life. So don't take that risk. Put it on such a negative note, This is supposed to be a positive thing, but these are tough times. These are tough times. It's almost like a cashless society. Canada Post is one example, but also Toronto Transit Commission. Even with these law enforcement officers making sure, like the law enforcement officers cannot be on every single streetcar or every single bus. I haven't even seen one on a bus, to be honest. But to think, people do not want, this is $1 billion system, $3 billion. It costs $3 billion to run the Toronto Transit Commission. Most of it is, by the way, wages and benefits, so salaries, and $3 billion to operate it. That's not talking about new systems. And people don't want to pay $3.30 to use the transit? That most countries in the world don't even have public transit systems to the size and scale as the Toronto Transit Commission. So that tells you everything you need to know about the economic situation. But we need to keep engaging. We need to keep engaging. Yes, I am from East Africa. Yes, I am 30 years old. Yes, I don't speak Amharic. I've never been to that country. Last time I was there was 2001. I guess I shouldn't say never been there, but 2001, before the World Trade Center was taken down, okay, by 9/11 terrorist attacks. That was the last time I was there. So it's been a while. With what money am I gonna go there? You know, it costs like $10,000 to go there if you're gonna have a good time. If you're gonna have a good time. And the moment that you land in North America, you start saying to yourself, I wish I could go back to Ethiopia. And that's how you spend all the money on travel and tourism. Not in all cases, but one day I'll go there. And for now, I'll do what I can. I'll do what I can to support the heritage and support this country. But I am a Canadian, and I will always will be. Come to our event. We'll be there until 9:30, Wellesley Community Center, 495 Sherbourne Street. If you miss it, you miss it. But, come and see what we have to talk about, the topics that matter, and hopefully the solutions that matter as well. Thank you very much. This is Tezera Mogess. See you later.